Do you want to make money with quail? Thank you guys so much for clicking over from our previous video. Or if you're new and just finding us, I'm Mike. This is MJ Farmstead. We're a channel dedicated to teaching you how to grow your own food, be self-reliant, and make some money back in the process. So in this video today, we're going to be going over where to source quail from, how to set up your markets, and how to make some money back. We're going to step into the office for this video today, and I'm going to show you guys a little PowerPoint presentation I have set up, and we're going to get right into this video so you guys can start making money with your quail soon. Alright guys, so let's get right into this. So if we're looking where to buy these birds from, you can get chicks from Craigslist. Usually chicks are running about $4 each, upwards to $10 for hens if they're at laying age or sexed already. You can go into Facebook homesteading groups. Usually around my area you can get them for 50 cents to $1 an egg. And we'll get into what I sell my hatching eggs for. Then we're looking at eBay. You can get anywhere, as I've seen, as low as $1.33 per egg, upwards to $5.32 per egg. That is with shipping costs. And then your different quail breeders and hatcheries, you got Meyer Hatchery, Myshire Farm, just to name a couple, and they're usually between $1 and $2 per egg shipped. Let's get into the cost of the birds, right? So if we paid $4 for chicks, local pickup, the chicks aren't going to be guaranteed females, so just take that into consideration. But let's say it's $4 per bird, you're going to harvest extra males. I usually keep one rooster per 4 to 5 hens. Now our feed costs, they're not going to eat an ounce a day when they're younger, but I'm just averaging 1 ounce per day per bird. That's my rations. So if we're going at a producer's pride, if we're looking at producer's pride, 50-pound bag costs $15 to $59 pre-tax, so it's 31 cents a pound. If you wanted to do nature's best, 40-pound bag, $28.99, 72 cents a pound. Or if you wanted to go with the game bird layer feed, 40-pound bag, $21.99, 54 cents a pound. So if we take 365 days at an ounce a day, we have 365 ounces of feed. Divide that by 16 ounces per pound. We're looking at 22 pounds. 22.81 pounds for FPY, feed per year. So we take that, and now we can multiply each one of those by the amount of cost per pound for feed. So if we're feeding Producer's Pride, that bird's costing us $7.07 per year. If we're feeding the Nature's Best, it's costing us $16.42 a year, and the game bird is going to cost us $12.31 per year per bird to feed. Now, we have to take in consideration we are going to be feeding some males if we're going to be hatching and making our money back. If you build your cage yourself, like the ones that you saw before in the video, I spent approximately $100 on those cages, and they can house up to 54 birds. So if we divide that 54 birds by $100, you're looking at another 54 cents. So cost per bird per year, we're looking at anywhere from $11.07 upwards to $20.41. Add that extra 54 cents on for our cost of the cage. So moving on, getting into our eggs per year, 300 eggs per year is pretty reasonable, especially if you're artificially lighting these birds. They're only going to lay for 2 years, live for approximately 2 years. So we're going to try to squeeze every egg out of them. If you don't artificially light them, from November till about March, you're not going to have egg production usually. So if we have 300 eggs a year, divide by 12, so that'll give us 25 dozens per year. That 25 dozens times $3 each dozen for eating eggs, we're looking at $75 total. So minus that $7.07 up to $16.42, depending if you're feeding them a non-organic or organic feed. We're looking at $59 to $65 profit possible. Now, if we change over from eating eggs to hatching eggs, we're looking at $1 per egg if we're selling at my local rate. So we have a possible $300 profit, call it $293, so like $284 is the profit. Now, if we were to hatch, right, let's talk about hatching chicks. Hatching chicks is gonna, if we sell them at $4 per chick, day old, I usually sell day old to 4-day old at $4 a chick, and I will replace any chicks that pass for people. And after that, I charge $5 to $6 for like 1 week to 2 week old birds. If I don't sell them after 2 weeks, I usually keep them back for my stock. So if we're looking at a hatch rate of 50% and we hatched all 300 eggs or put them into the incubator, we have to run, I have a 54 egg incubator, let's just call it 50. So that means I have to run it 6 different batches at $1 a day. I'm just guessing with the electric rate. It's probably less than $1 a day to run, but figure $114 cost for electricity to get 150 birds at $4 each. You're looking at $600 gross, minus that whole 114 out for electricity, and we're looking at $496. Now, if we keep these birds for just a little bit longer, we can raise them up about 6 to 8 weeks when they're going to start laying eggs, and we'll have adults. So hens in my area, I've sold them from anywhere from the $10 to $15 range, depending if they're a little bit older or not. Roosters, I usually fetch about 5 to 7. I'll usually get a little bit more if I was to do them for training purposes. Some of the dog trainers, they'll pay up to $8 per bird. So you figure 50% hatch rate, 50% hen to rooster ratio. If we hatched all those 300, had 150 birds, 75 male, 75 female, at $10 each, we're looking at a $750 margin, and for the $5 each, $375 for the roosters. That's granted everything live. This is perfect world conditions, guys. So with that total being $1,125 minus that $114 for incubation, so we're looking at a $1,011 cost. Now I figure if we're feeding 150 birds for 8 weeks to raise them up to laying age or sexable age, 8 weeks, let's say an ounce a day per bird, that's going to be 56 ounces. Divide that by 16, so you're looking at 3 pounds, 3.5 pounds each bird, times the 72 cents per pound is $2.52, times 150 birds brings us up to $378 to raise 150 birds up to 8 weeks old. Once we sell them at the $5 each per rooster and $10 each per hen, we're looking at a leftover profit of $633, which honestly is not that bad, and it's definitely doable. And that would technically be for one bird. If you hatched out those 300 eggs from one bird, you could pull $633 profit each hen. Granted, you're going to need a rooster with that hen and probably 4 other hens with that rooster so he doesn't beat up on her. But with that profit margin, that's pretty good. What I will suggest, guys, is don't start this in a grand scale. You want to see what your market is. So start with a couple of dozen hatching eggs, hatch them out, get your rooster and hen ratio correct. Make sure that you're going to actually build your market and not just hemorrhage money and not have a market for the quail. I like to market myself on Craigslist. I like to market myself in Facebook market groups, different homesteading groups on Facebook, as well as word of mouth. Anyone that I've met in the community, in the farming community, I've talked to about quail. I've given them eggs. I've reached out to different restaurants and nature markets. They'll buy eggs from you. They might buy them at slightly less price, but at least you'll be able to get rid of excess eggs if you have any. And then a lot of people come back to me for hatching eggs, which is great for repeat customers. I think that's all we're really going to have today, guys. So if you guys like the video, hit that thumbs up. If you're new here, please subscribe. It's free to do. Come along for our journey of self-sufficiency and growing your own food. Somewhere over here or here, I'll have a video up once I film it of how to raise chickens, beginner's guide to keeping chickens. Until then, you may see whatever YouTube suggests to you guys. So I appreciate everyone for being here, and wherever you guys are at, have a great morning, afternoon, or evening. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.